Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News, and 2 more teams have been confirmed for North American Stage 2 challenges. 10 teams in total, 100 Thieves being one of them that finally get in and qualify this time around. And Sentinels keep their dreams alive in the lower brackets. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Really up to the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. As I say every day, loads of great support the last few days. But it's true every single time. This also from Feel on Fire I thought was really cool actually. A few of you guys pointed this out to me. This is an event that's been going on in Japan. I mean, look at the crowd here. Just absolutely spectacular. Like, this is the type of stuff we want to get. So basically people are saying, look, Tokyo Masters, this is the absolute play. But I mean, yeah, just great to see live events and fans back in the venue in this type of stuff. It's like, well, Valorant is certainly killing it over there right now. And Zeta Division, of course, definitely will pave the way for that at Masters we saw not too long ago. This also from Vitality, they confirm what their roster is going to be going into. I mean, this is the team, as you can see, Bone Cold, High Bear. They're coming into the roster kind of, well, as we might well have predicted. But Bone Cold, of course, formerly of that Ascend team that's completely blown apart. Baddie, Sender here as well. Potentially a pretty decent team. We'll see, of course, how the things go in the European side over the coming weeks as well. But wanted to bring this up actually from Angel, I thought was rather funny. Things that made me smile. So he's effectively kind of, well, talking a little bit of trash on the North American region in general. Just because yesterday we looked at that kind of, well, brief thing where Asuna says that he reckons Valorant's pretty random in this game. Now, well, kind of Angel's basically saying, look, these guys are absolute morons. Someone said that Valorant is random. Teams pick Reyna and Neon, like, well, apparently that's a bad thing to do. Duelists push Hiko, die and lose rounds. Someone who got paid for playing Valorant kills 2 and picks 3rd because he got this feeling, you know. Caster's surprised that I'm out-aiming 18-year-old enemies, right? It's pretty interesting, right? Because Angel, unfortunately, we didn't get to see what FPX were capable of at the Masters. But, you know, maybe this isn't necessarily, like, associated with or talking about North American Valorant in general. But just, of course, it was Asuna, I think, that made that comment that maybe he's talking about. He's talking about, like, Neon and stuff that, of course, Optic like to pick. But clearly that probably had its place in the meta, to be honest. But he's certainly letting his thoughts be known. He also says top team eliminated open qualifiers is also cool. So hopefully we get to see Angel and FPX actually compete, well, next time around if everything works out better for them. But again, unfortunate circumstances. This also to mention from Sick, because the last few days we've been talking about Chamber, right, and how strong he is right now and some of the issues the pros have with him. Sick says, take me back to the Sage main days, kind of, you know, wanted the days back when Sage would be picked pretty much every single game. Playing against Jet, Reyna and Chamber all at the same time is cringe. Very popular in ranked, but it's a different game at that point. Chamber TP should be for rotating only. It shouldn't be an escape tool as well. It ruins the Sentinel role. That has kind of been the strange thing to me, because everyone talked about the Jet dash being like so strong, but the Chamber teleport is basically like even more overpowered, and that's kind of what Leaf says right here. Don't think Reyna is that bad. At least you get punished if you don't get a kill. Jet and Chamber though are very cringe. I don't understand how they aren't nerfing his teleport. Harder to kill than Jet dash, and he could go basically anywhere and you'll have no clue. Only 20 seconds cooldown as well is a bit of a joke. So definitely the pros saying, look, at the end of the day here, what they're nerfing on Chamber, it seems as they're going to get rid of one of his traps. They're going to take it from 2 down to 1. That's a significant nerf, but maybe a nerf entirely in the wrong direction, right? And well, as well, Six says it ruins the Sentinel role. So we shall see how they decide to deal with this one going forwards. But of course, the next time they're well, at least a Leaf on Cloud9 and potentially Sick on Sentinels. We'll see how they get on later on this evening. We'll be playing, if they do manage to qualify through, we'll be on the new patch update with everything as it currently is, not how the players are currently playing on in the matches going on at the present time. Let's dive into those matches then. So this first even, well, from Virtuoso King, T1, 2-0 victory against them. Honestly, don't know what's happened to T1. They were looking good for a time. They completely fell off a cliff, to be honest. I mean, look at this. I don't know what they're doing. That last shot was actually pretty disgusting as well. But yeah, Steel and the boys, they got pretty much completely demolished. Never really looked like there's still a chance of qualifying in this tournament. There's been a lot of words exactly why that might have been the case. But I mean, yeah, Thrifo, Dynamic and Co, like Pony, of course. Don't know what he's trying to do here as well. That's not really going to work out too well for you. But well, as Steel says right here, 0-2 versus Virtuoso, we are out. This isn't even remotely good enough, nor a proper reflection of what I am capable of. Very disappointing start and finish of the VCT year. That's the thing, right? Pretty much they are done and dusted. Sentinels, there still might be a chance, just because we'll look at version 1 here in a second, that they can qualify for the last chance qualifier. T1, because they weren't in it first time around, they are completely done and dusted for the rest of their season. Even as Curry says, failed fundamentally at creating and building a team from the bottom up. We are out of the year. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to this organization going forward, but it's not looking good by any means. This also got to mention here from Dazed, because I think it's David Dennis, the name of the kind of the coaching guy over at the T1 team. I think he's like a sports therapist, effectively. And well, this is what Dazed says. Professional esports is just so ridiculous. If only I wasn't so naive. I had no idea Game of Thrones was being played in the shadows by some random family therapist. How that man was capable of getting so much control is beyond me. It's like an interesting one. I'm guessing he's talking about T1. That's certainly been the implication here, that he's kind of saying, you know, what are they really playing at over there, forming the roster that they have. And of course, it's worked out, well, pretty spectacularly bad for them, to be honest. And it's kind of what I was talking about yesterday that George Geddes says as well. It makes sense now for T1 to disband the North American roster and field a Korean team. They're probably going to not get T1 at least, and maybe GenG as well, they're probably not going to get that partner spot in the kind of Americas region next year in the pseudo-franchise era that, Riot seem to want to bring in. But they might well get that spot in Korea, right, in the Asian region, and probably GenG, after also failing to qualify, they could do something very similar as well. Now, another team failing to qualify, and this was a seriously big scalp, was Version1. These guys were one of the odds-on favourites. I mean, this is now with Whippy back in the team instead of Wardell. Of course, only a couple of days of practice with them. They got so close the first time around with Wardell to qualifying, losing 2-1, I believe, to LG in the decider game to qualify. Whippy comes back. They're, of course, very confident they can turn it around. Now he's got his visa situation sorted out. Completely the opposite occurs. They lose to Complexity to go out of the qualifier. They lost to Girl Kisses in the winners bracket to drop down here, and now they lose here to Complexity. So just shocking stuff. They were 5-0 in Stage 1 challenges. One of the favourites to even get through to Masters, and they've, of course, failed to do that. And now they're not even going to get to, retain their title. They probably have enough points. I think they only have like 35 though, which is something similar to Sentinels. So I don't really know what their likelihood is going to be to get to last chance qualifier. Their season might be done and dusted. It might not be. I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this even from Whippy, GG's cold. Lost 2-1. No excuses. Even with 2 days of practice, we should have still won those last 2 games. Unlucky. GG's to all the teams we played. I guess the last season was a fluke. So incredible scenes that Version1 won't be there to try and do anything at all. And even Zelsis says, right, we kind of saw from Zelsis a few days ago. We saw him say on stream that he wasn't convinced that he still wants to keep playing professionally, at least at the moment. Like, and I wonder if this played into their kind of poor performance in a way. Like, he was saying on stream that after they qualify, if they did qualify, of course they failed to, that he wants to take a bit of a break from competing. Now, who knows whether the team being aware of that or whatever could have affected their play to some degree, but as he says, as for my future, it's currently undecided what he wants to do. So really tough time for those guys. But let's talk about a more positive front. 100 Thieves, they get through. Honestly, they just keep getting stronger and stronger. Like, they really are showing, like, I know we've talked about Sentinels a lot the last few days, but it's got to be said, right? 100 Thieves, they bring in competent and talented, coaching staff, general management, this type of stuff. They bring them in, like, they form a team that they think is going to be working out very nicely indeed. Don't know how Asuna even managed to get those couple of kills, but, they bring in, of course, the coaching staff. They build a team, like, pretty much from the ground up in what they want to, do with this roster. Then they boot camp the guys. They look pretty suspect early on. They eventually improve. And every single series 100 Thieves play, they just look better and better. And, this is another example. Game 1 here against NYFU. They go Game 3 here on the Breeze. They win this one to move on to the decider match to get through that, to have one more match, say 100 Thieves. So as you can see, the boot camp's coming through. The coaching staff are all here. And, that's job done. They move on to, face Akrew in the decider game. This is never an easy game. Of course, we saw what Akrew did pretty comfortably to Sentinels not that long ago. But, the pistol round, the first single round of the tournament, or first single round of the match, certainly looks promising in their favour. And 100 Thieves dominated this series. Like, this team certainly has shown a fair bit of promise. Like, they really seem to be activating their star talent as well. And, finally, when it comes to a crucial moment, they clutch up massively in this series. This game 1 on Split was pretty dominant, 13-6, I believe it ended. And then game 2 was, I think, 13-1 on the Breeze. Like, a 7-0 advantage on the T side here. Like, at this point, it's just over and done with. Bang Zero was making some plays. Like, this 1v2 was, pretty much unacceptable to lose on the Akrew side, especially at this point in the game. But I don't even know how this guy didn't hear him, to be honest. But it's kind of funny because I think Neon on the Akrew side was talking a bit of trash. He ends up dropping a 0 bomb this game, doesn't get a single kill, drops the donut. And this also from Brent Valorant highlights Akrew versus 100 Thieves for Neon highlights versus 100 Thieves. And it doesn't really work out too well. 0 in 12 this game. But yeah, what a performance from 100 Thieves, right? They've really come alive, making great progress in being easily good enough here to qualify through. They didn't quite make it first time. They lost in the decider game to TSM, but this time they make it through very comfortably indeed. Like, the overall series stats here, just complete domination. For a decider game, this is impressive. Akrew probably fell apart a little bit, maybe mentally. But still 100 Thieves right here. Look at this. Asuna's plus 28. All the guys are positive. Like, the outslaying across the two maps are just absurd. Like, first kills, Asuna was 8-1 on. Like, a Split was 13-7, actually not 13-6, but Asuna's still 25-9, and then Breeze was indeed 13-1. So, and Neon drops a donut, as we just saw. So, incredible work from 100 Thieves. They qualify, they secure their spot, and Nature gives them a call to say how, proud he is of the team, to be honest. And he's certainly committed to excellence, right? He's, this isn't it for this team. They want to go bigger and beyond, but this is the first step to their kind of, road to be the #1 team in the world. That is their plan. They've done everything right, in my opinion, in the last few weeks, and they've certainly made it work. So definitely deserving of credit. As Sean Gare says, of course, kind of crazy how Riot, if they had allowed Sean Gare and DDK to keep casting, then maybe this entire thing doesn't happen, right? 100 Thieves looks very different, right? Because, by kind of, saying they're not going to cast or getting rid of them effectively from the casting talent, they then become probably the most exciting coach, kind of general manager combo in the entire world. Builds this team pretty much from the ground up, and now they've qualified here for the VCT. Definitely deserving of credit, even as Asuna says, because he was a monster, no doubt. And that's the thing, I think Hiko was saying that Asuna, when Hiko was was on the team, he had to play a role that he wasn't really comfortable with. Now letting Asuna just play in this role where he can just pop off, like, is really helping the team in terms of activating the star power. And a nice little conversation here between NRG, Ethan, and Asuna, of course. The two guys formerly on the same team on 100 Thieves. So both of them have now qualified on their respective teams. Ethan, of course, have done it on NRG. This also the other team that qualified, EG. They took down the Knights 2-0. EG and the Knights, both those teams were, of course, in last time around in stage 1. So Knights certainly a decent chance to do it, but Evil Geniuses get through. Very well done to them. And yeah, these are the two brackets that got both those teams through. So 100 Thieves, they take down New York Fury, they take down Akrew, and then they move forward. The other side of the bracket was Evil Geniuses that got through over Knights, of course. They took down Girl Kisses as well after they'd beaten Version 1. Knights took down Dark Zero Esports. But of course, in the lower bracket, there's also been stuff going on. But these now are the 10 teams so far that have been confirmed. 2 more going to be confirmed today. Like some incredibly important matches tonight that we shall look at in a second. But Optic the Guard, Cloud9 Exit, they qualified automatically. NRG, FaZe, TSM, Luminosity, they were the first 4 teams that qualified last week. 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, the first 2 teams that qualified this week. 2 more spots remaining. And Sentinels still in with a fight. They played 3 games yesterday, yes, admittedly against easier opposition. Their games will certainly get harder today. But yeah, 6-0 today, says TenZ. GG's to the teams we played. Last chance to qualify is tomorrow, I guess today. So wish us luck. So yeah, 6-0 map counts. Impressive work from Sentinels. Beat teams they certainly are expected to beat. But yeah, they find themselves now just 2 series away. That's what 100 Thieves did in the first qualifier. They lost in the same round that Sentinels did here. They lost to Akrew, of course. Sentinels, it was 100 Thieves that lost to TSM. Who knows whether it's somehow a Sentinels versus Akrew rematch again in a decider, at least at some point in this tournament. It is actually rather likely looking at the bracket right now, but 2 more series for Sentinels will do it. They'll get through. 100 Thieves did 4 in a row. They couldn't quite get the 5th first time round. Now they made it happen. Can Sentinels go one better? This then is the bracket as we just kind of were describing. There's, only a certain amount of teams remaining. It's obviously pretty stacked as you can see from top to bottom. But yeah, 6 teams remaining with a shout here on the lower side. Built by Gamers Academy, this is not even their main roster. It's their Academy team that's playing against Ghost. The winner of that will play Knights to qualify. I think Knights should probably be favoured here, but who knows? And then this side of the bracket is crazy to me. So Sentinels play Saw. That's theoretically a pretty winnable series for Sentinels. And then if they win that, they'll play a rematch against Akrew again. And that would be remarkable, wouldn't it? Because they, of course, beat them 2-1 last time, but it felt like Akrew might be slightly the better team. Of course, Akrew took down Sentinels in the winner's side. That could well be the decided game. We'll see how things go this evening. But yeah, lots of pros kind of hoping that they do win this, because otherwise the viewership's in the bin. But very much enjoyed your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, toss the YouTube gods. This is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you much as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.